Hey there, everyone. Thank you for checking out this special Katsukan series. Before you get into the interview with Jeremy Lee, I just wanted to say thank you again to Katsukan for having me out and allowing me to get press access to do great interviews like this. And also thank you to Jeremy, who was very gracious with her time. The one thing I will note is I had a lot more that I wanted to talk with her about. But I already had 30 minutes, and I feel like a lot of other people in the press authority did not maybe have as much time as that. So, she was on a schedule, and I wanted to be very appreciative of her time. So that said, it's going to be more of a Q&A format rather than like a podcast style where I can just talk for hours and on. So that might be a little bit different. And third, I am so sorry about the visual quality. We were in conference room with poor lighting. The sound was conference room walls kind of sound. But overall, I think my wife, Jenna, did as good a job as she could lightening it up for us. So that's pretty much all the disclaimers I have. I will strive to do better next time. I'm sorry if the visuals just completely ruin it for you. But I still wanted to put it out there. So any and all links that you might want to know about Jeremy or Katsukan will be in the video description, so please go check them out if you have not done so. And with that, please enjoy the interview with Jeremy Lee, voice of Rhea in Fire Emblem Three Houses. Hey everyone, welcome back to Katsukan 2020. I have a guest here. You may have seen the first that we had, and I have no idea what order these are going in. So. Welcome, special guest. You may have heard her as Rhea in Fire Emblem Three Houses. We're going to talk a lot about that. Makoto in iterations of Persona 5, Red Blood Cell in Cells at Work, Asuna in Sword Art Online, Lucy in Fairy Tail, A2 in Nier Automata. That's how I say it. I don't know if there's a right or a wrong.
I know. I don't know if there is either.
Let's see. I'm not going to go through the whole list because it's quite a rap sheet. Pixie Bob in My Hero Academia, Sailor Venus in the Sailor Moon Crystal kind of reboot, and I think Viz dub as well. I could go on.
I've never heard it described as a rap sheet. I like that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
It's quite intense.
Thank you.
Wikipedia, if you guys ever get curious, you'll spend a day and a half. Anyway, Jeremy Lee.
Yes.
Welcome. If you don't know who she is, you're insane. So thanks for making time.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you guys.
I know we have back-to-backs here, so let's dive right in. Starting off with something pretty topical, actually. The latest Fire Emblem Three Houses update went live.
Yeah.
And Rhea is now available in Tea Time Conversations.
Yeah.
She was left out before.
Yeah.
Are you glad your character is finally getting in on the tea?
Yeah, look, I mean, tea is my favorite thing ever. When I gave up caffeine for about 8 months, all I could have was decaffeinated tea. And so when I noticed she wasn't a part of the tea time conversations, I was a little broken about it. And it seemed like a very silly thing to be hurt about. Yeah. But when they brought it back for the new iteration, I was like, finally, man. It really honestly meant so much to me. And so it's funny that you asked about that, because I felt like it was a very silly thing for me to be like, really? Nobody wants to have tea with Rhea? Well, and now it's available. It means so much to me.
She is literally the only character who I think is recruitable that you cannot...
I mean, it seems unfair, right? Does she just not drink tea? We all know that's not true.
Right.
She deserves a tea party.
That? Exactly.
And now it can happen.
I felt like it was exclusionary.
Look,
at the very least.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one who was a little broken about it. But they fixed it.
There are multiples of us that feel that. So the fandom's response to Rhea was actually a little mixed at first.
Yeah.
I don't know if you were aware of that.
Yes.
But she's actually got a little cult following. True story. I have seen 3 Rhea cosplays here.
I did too. And I also found out, I just messaged them on the way walking to this building. I messaged them on Etsy. One of the Rheas had a satin jacket that says, we follow the goddess of light, follower of the Church of Ceros. And she had this great jacket. I was like, where did you get that? She was like, well, I had a custom made. This is the artist, and handed me the card. And so I just messaged him. I was like, I need that. There's no Rhea merch because she is so, people either love her or hate her, which I actually really enjoy because as long as you have passionate feelings about her one way or the other, that makes me very happy that I evoked a response from you and the character evoked a response.
That's a good point.
So,
I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
I just thought it was unjust aggression.
Well, thank you.
For no reason.
Yeah, that's how I found out that the game, because especially with Rhea, I feel like she's a walking spoiler. So I've been very quiet about talking about her online because I don't know where anybody is in the game and I can't express how much I loved playing her specifically because I don't want to ruin the experience for anyone. But that's how I found out that people were responding to Rhea. I was getting a lot of tweets online that said, Jeremy, you're so nice in person. Why are you the worst in this game? And I was like, oh, they hate it. They're like, no, we love your performance.
Yeah.
She is the worst. And I was like, I guess that's good. At least they like what I did.
Yeah.
So
reaction is a good thing.
yeah, any reaction is a good thing.
So when the game launched, I know this, if you were tuned into Twitter, a lot of the actors who were voicing characters in the game, like Twitter stormed everyone.
Yeah.
Like talking about their character, and like the love was very responsive, but you were kind of silent.
Yeah.
To an extent. Is that because you had to be a little tight-lipped about?
I'm terrified.
Okay.
So when we sign an NDA, I never know when I'm allowed to talk about something. So I usually wait till everyone else responds.
Fair.
And then I respond. I'm like, well, there were 87 people who tweeted something. I think it's safe. But even sometimes that is not the case. So I waited till we got an email. I think the game was out for a couple days, maybe a week. And we got an email from the studio that said, if you guys have not posted, you are safe to post. So I just posted one picture and that was it. And so someone messaged me the other day, like 2 days ago, and they said, do you not like that you voiced Rhea? I was like, no, I love that I voiced Rhea. It's a huge honor that I voiced Rhea, but I'm terrified of what I'm allowed to say and not say. So
that's fair.
But I really, the character was very intimidating to me when I got cast, and I, for the longest time, did not understand why they cast me because she is so powerful, but in such a calm, composed sort of way that was the direction that I got from Patrick often was, you don't have to try so much. Rhea doesn't try, she just is. The essence of Rhea is enough. Yeah. And so that was really cool to hear, and it was fun to embody.
Which at the panel yesterday we were at, you guys probably weren't. But I believe you were given the direction to, and I'm paraphrasing, channel your inner Dumbledore.
Yeah. When we were, because I think it's pretty safe to say that most people can I guess glean some similarities between Three Houses and Harry Potter. And so we were all, I played the game of trying to figure out who was who in the game. And I came in and I said, am I Dumbledore? And they said, I mean, yeah.
Basically.
And I was like, man, that is such pressure. And I remember getting in the car and like driving home from one of my sessions. I was like, I am Dumbledore. I am very powerful. I don't even have to try. And getting to voice her made me realize how insecure I am in my own skin about myself. So Rhea kind of helped me realize, like, sometimes I don't need to try to be someone else to fit in. It's okay to just be myself in all the weirdness that is. And that's totally cool. So some people may hate her, but I think she's very special.
I will say I feel that Rhea has a very calming presence.
Yeah, which is...
Until things get...
Well, look, we can all be provoked, I guess. Road rage is a very real thing. I would not want to encounter her if she were stuck in traffic.
Fair. That's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, I think given your predisposition to not want to spoil things.
Yes.
I don't know if you caught the Smash Ultimate Direct that Sakurai did.
Yeah.
Number one, congratulations on being in Smash.
Thank you.
You are officially in Smash
Thank
Ultimate.
you. Yeah, it's incredible.
Second, I think Sakurai actually spoiled more than anything anybody else had done.
Okay, good. That makes me feel a little bit better. Yeah.
He intentionally went out of his way. I'm not going to spoil anything, and then gave a full background.
Well, cool.
Dimitri lives a very sad life, but it's the whole thing. So I think you're in the clear.
Okay, good.
For the
good.
most part.
For the most part.
Yeah. So Three Houses isn't the first Fire Emblem game that you've actually done. You've voiced a handful of other characters from a few different games. May from Shadows of Valentia, personal favorite. Sita from a couple different iterations. Do you have a favorite Fire Emblem role so far?
No, they're all so different. I
True.
know it's been very cool. Whenever we do a heroes session, we get to come in, and usually they book us for 1 or 2 hours, and we'll do all of the characters that are needed for heroes and whatever update they need. And those are some of my favorite sessions because then I get to dive into all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
And I feel really balanced when I leave for the day because I feel like I've got
The
a
whole
little bit of her.
spectrum,
It's like a little salad. We got a fruit salad of Fire Emblem, and then I can go home and feel very, very complete. So to pick a favorite is hard. That's terrible. See, I always say the most recent one is probably my favorite, and Rhea is the most recent one I've worked on. So that's my favorite today. If we get to do heroes and we get another update, then that answer will change.
You might. I mean, she placed pretty high on the Choose Your Legends ballot.
That would be
I
awesome.
don't know if you were following.
Yeah, that would be very cool. We'll see.
Intelligent Systems is going to throw some work your way here pretty soon. Which, speaking of the hero sessions, you actually were on a kind of joint character very recently.
Yeah.
With Kaylee Mills.
Yeah, that was so special.
She, if you guys don't know, Kaylee Mills plays a character in Sword Art Online.
Yes.
So there's some interaction going on there as well. Was
Kaylee
that like a
Mills
surprise to you?
Also was the music. She did the music adaptation for the Cells at Work theme song when we did that in English. She wrote all of the lyrics and then she sang all of the parts and the harmonies for us, which was very cool. Yeah, I was very excited. I hoped that since it was like a little dual combo thing that they would bring us into the studio at the same time and we get to do some interaction because for everything else, game and anime, we record separately. And I thought maybe for that we'd get to do something together, but not yet. Maybe at least we'll get invited to some conventions together and we can hang out because that's usually the only time we get to see each other.
Right, which I was going to ask you on the coworker aspect.
Yeah.
You've actually worked with a lot of other actors in Three Houses as well. So like Chris Hackney, for example.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know, he played Bowie. He has the Bowie scream from Shadows of Valentia. If you don't know what that is, please YouTube it immediately. Cassandra Lee Morris also is another one. Patrick Sates. Is it strange being in projects with people that you rarely ever see in real life?
It is very strange. Once I meet them, it becomes less strange, but it's very, very awkward. And I've said this many times when I go in to work on a project and say, I know that voice. And I'll ask the director who it is, and they say, oh, it's so-and-so. Do you know them? And I say, no, I've just worked with their voice a lot. And then when I meet them for the first time, we usually have an awkward encounter. The first time I met Sonny Strait, I'd worked with him on Full Metal Alchemist. I played his daughter in Brotherhood, and he came up to me and he goes, hello, sweet daughter. And we met at a convention, and I think everybody was very confused. I said, Dad, it's so nice to meet you. And I understand for most people that don't know what it's like to be a voice actor or what we do, that's a weird interaction. But yeah, that's usually how we meet, and it's a very odd experience because we've worked together so much and we've shared so much, but we've never met. So I guess it's like pen pals. And then when we finally meet in person, it's a very special reunion.
That's a good analogy, actually.
Yeah.
I really thought about it like that. But I remember you guys talking in the panel about how you just go off on tangents because...
Oh my gosh, yeah. Because it's like a conversation. This is the only time we get to see each other.
Yeah.
So everyone feels like, thanks for coming out and hang out with us. Like, we love meeting people. We're trapped in padded rooms all day long. They don't even trust us with each other.
So you have a great many, and I'm air quoting here, best girls roles
thank you.
in anime. There are many. I would list them all. But I'll name a couple. Asuna, Lucy Heartfilia, which I think just wrapped recently.
Just wrapped, yeah.
Sailor Venus as well, if you're retro. What's it like giving speech and personality to so many strong female roles?
It's intimidating, especially anytime I think you get cast in a project, whether it's a project that has like a legacy like anime or a fandom already existing, or it's brand new. It's intimidating just because it's someone's creation that started in their mind, and these characters all mean so much to them. But certainly, like for Sailor Moon or for Fairy Tail that went on for so long, there's a lot of pressure because the audience already loves these characters so much, and the last thing you want to do is present them in a way that does not do them justice for what the audience feels. So of course I want everybody to like the characters, and of course I want everybody to be happy with what I did. But I've been in situations where some people love it, some people hate it. And I've told a director that said, like, as long as at the end of the day you feel empowered walking out as a female and you're like proud to be who you are, then you did your job because you empowered yourself with the work you've done. So if there's ever a time where I feel like, obviously the source material is given to us, so if there's scenes that are a little more awkward or a little bit more painful to voice, just like in our daily lives, there are times being women, men, transgender and otherwise, where we don't feel happy, where it's an awkward situation. It's a painful situation. And so we can only do so much in that moment to empower ourselves. And I think anime is the same. But for the general tone, once we wrap a show, if I'm starting to feel like in a moment where it makes sense that I say, hey, I don't feel as proud of that moment, or I don't feel empowered in that moment, can we take it back again? All the directors say, totally, that's what we're here to do. So they're very open, and it's a very collaborative process, which is really, really nice. So hopefully everybody likes it. Hopefully everybody feels good and loves these female characters, because I certainly do.
So speaking of power, there is a trick, I think, to mastering the ultimate anime power-up yell.
Okay.
And I don't know what exactly it is or how to enunciate it.
Okay.
Is there a way to master that particular talent? Because there is a lot of like DBZ just 20 minutes straight yelling that goes on.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like that would be a Sabat and a Schemmel question. They could give you the classic, that how to make it last for 20 minutes. I haven't had to do one nearly as long as what they've had to do. I've had a lot of female and male directors that have all given their 2 cents, and I feel like I have been able to accumulate a wide variety of knowledge, and they all have different notes and ways to go about it. So I don't know if there's any one set way. Like I'll have people that say like, you got to start low and feel it in your gut and then take it all the way to the top. Some people are like, there's one part where your voice is about to break, you want to jump over that break as fast as possible. And some people are like, stretch it out as long as you can. So I think to each their own. I don't know if there's any one set way. But maybe the DBZ masters should teach a master class in the power up.
That would be
pretty
a good
great.
panel.
I would go to that panel.
For sure.
Yeah.
Got to. Come on.
Yeah, make it happen.
It's almost like a crescendo. Like there's.
It is like a crescendo for sure, and it varies for each character. And I think in the moment when we have to match the animation, I know the last time I had to do one was for Sarada in Boruto. We had to do she had a quick, almost like a rapid fire into the power up, into a giant punch. And so we had to watch it a couple times because it was not the classic crescendo punch. But there's been a couple times for video game, they'll say that video games that are not related to anime shows, they'll say, give us the power up, but not too DBZ, because they don't want to rip off the DBZ world.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. So you have been involved with franchises like Fire Emblem, Persona, Sailor Moon, and many more. Again, I would list them, but we're on limited time here. Is there another legacy series in gaming or anime or anything like that that you would want to be a part of that you haven't been yet?
I know the answer that would probably mean the most to my husband, and it's very hard for me to say for me because I think I'm so attached to so many shows and I have friends involved in so many. My husband is a huge Pokemon fan.
Okay.
We have over 150 of the 12-inch plush. They live in the bottom of his closet, like a Pokemon cave.
Sure. Yeah.
We used to joke around and tell people we had a very small 1-bedroom apartment, and I would say the Pokemon live there. We're just there to feed them because it was exploding. So I think for him that would be the one. I've done small things and one-off games or a small, but to be in a long-running season of a show would be really, really cool. I also did a little tiny part of DBZ, but it would be cool also to get to be in the series rather than just in a sidebar movie. Those are the only two that I can think of off the top of my head, but there are so many. I mean, you walk in the vendor hall and I will be going, I should have said that. I should have said that. I should have said that. But those are the two cosplays that I saw on my way over. So it's they're taunting me. Come over to the dark side.
I mean, those are good series.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if you getting into it.
They're the classic.
Yeah, exactly.
The three that I knew were that I thought anime was when I was a child was Pokemon, DBZ, and Sailor Moon. And then I started working at Funimation. I was like, these are like anime, but not. What are they? They were like, no, they are anime. It's not just those three shows.
Yeah.
Little did I know.
There's a whole breadth of
It's
things.
true, yeah.
So, according to a little bit of research that I did, you once had a childhood dream of being on Barney.
Yeah.
Do you have any future dream projects that you'd like to make happen?
I still want to be on Barney.
Still?
Yeah, I'd love to be on Barney. They don't make Barney anymore. The director of Barney I worked with on another project. I'm still following him on Facebook. He's one of my favorite directors. Dude, Netflix needs to reboot Barney. I'll direct an episode or be a teacher.
I think they could, actually.
That would be a blast. But yeah, no, there's a lot of projects that I want to do. I'm actually in the process of writing a lot of scripts. I've been traveling, going to conventions, and one of my favorite things to do is to get to go to various museums. And I always find out about people that are little known in history or that their stories have not been told or they've been forgotten. It inspires me to write scripts about them, fictionalized or otherwise. So I'm working on that, but that's something that I love to do is write stories and I hope to make films and projects and documentaries that bring people's stories to the forefront that have otherwise been forgotten or not told for various reasons in history. It just wasn't appropriate or they didn't know how to go about it, but that's hopefully what I would love to do.
As someone with a bachelor's in history, I can appreciate
Yeah, well, thank you. It's one of my favorites.
A few years ago, however, he did do a project with the one and only Shane Dawson.
I did, yeah.
If you guys don't know, it's a film called Not Cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's available. Not trying to plug.
It's a crazy movie, but it was so much fun.
Will we ever see a Shane Dawson docuseries investigating the dark side of voice acting?
Oh my gosh. I'm going to text him and ask. That would be the best. I don't know if there's necessarily a dark side, other than when we lose our voice, everything seems pretty bleak and like that's the end of the world there. But I mean, everyone jokes and says, it seems like such a nice community. Like you guys all really love each other. I bet behind closed doors, you're like ready to stab each other. We did like a mock-you-series, my husband and I wrote based on a joke that somebody had created at a convention between Bryce and I. They were convinced we were twins. So we decided to make this mockumentary style show about voice actors where we're all very aggressive towards each other because it's so not true, and that's why it's funny. But yeah, that would be incredible. I love Shane. We share the same birthday. We found out we have the same middle name, just spelled differently. So that was such a great experience. And I did 2 short films with him after the fact to promote his 2 books that came out.
Oh, very cool.
So that was really, really fun. But yeah, that'd be way cool. I have to be asking, can you come to a convention with me? He wouldn't be able to get any work done. Everyone would be screaming, Shane Dawson, where's my conspiracy palette?
Which did you get one?
Oh yeah,
Excellent.
I was actually at Anime USA on a lunch break, tapping over and over again to make sure that it was not sold out, and then I had to go to a different website to get the lip kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not
on
gonna leave it there.
4 different computers getting it for my wife.
Oh, it's amazing.
It was a challenge.
It's so good.
So as we wrap up here, because we've just got a couple minutes
Sure.
left, and I don't wanna steal you from other people. For all aspiring actors and voice actors out there, what is one piece of advice that you could go back and give to young Jeremy? What's something that you could try and retcon your younger self?
So my younger self I've been acting since I was 5 years old. It's all I ever wanted to do. It's everything that I loved. It was my fun escape. It was everything. And I was talking to my mom the other day, and she's like, I had to bribe you to do to go to a slumber party, to go to a dance, to do anything at school. I would say, what if you have to use this experience in a film? And that would be the only way that I would go. I took horseback riding lessons in case I would need that knowledge in a film. I took fencing in case I would get cast in a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. That was the only way I did things, not acting, is like, maybe I'll need this for acting. So with that comes a lot of pressure that I would put on myself.
Sure.
My parents were always like, please stop. This is very stressful. We don't want to do this. And I was like, it's my dream. Please let me do this. So I drugged my parents kicking and screaming to every audition. But I would tell little Jeremy and any other aspiring actors, like, don't take everything so seriously, and don't think that every audition is like the pinnacle or every role is the only thing that matters. Have some fun and just relax. It's all going to work out exactly as it should. And there's no one path that meets success. Success looks different for every single person. So just enjoy the journey and chill. I have zero chill. I'm still working on it.
Good words to live by. So
Yeah.
You just gotta have faith.
Yeah, just have some fun. Yeah.
Reasonable. All right. Well, thank you again
Thank
for
you.
carving out some time with us.
My pleasure.
Is there anything you've got coming up in the works that you can talk about that is NDA friendly that you might want people to be cognizant of or be ready to check out?
I have 10 things I counted right before I left that are not NDA friendly. So I can't talk about those.
Yeah.
But I can say I'm working on the new season of Sword Art Online, and we're recording it, and it's airing on Toonami. So you can check that out, which is great. It's getting really intense, as Sword Art only knows how to break hearts
True.
and put us on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And I'm also, Uiharu's back in a certain scientific railgun, and that's on Funimation.
There you go.
So we're doing that as a simul dub as well. I think, unfortunately, those are the only 2 things that I'm allowed to say, but there will be 10 plus projects coming very soon. I am living in a world of secrecy. It is very hard. I live in a lot of anxiety, but I'm just gonna chill. And when it comes out, it's gonna come out, and we're gonna have a party.
Well, that's okay. They'll tie you over
Yeah.
until this stuff comes out. So for people who are crazy and aren't already following you, where can they find you on the socials?
I am on Twitter at Jeremy Lee, on Instagram at CLKstar, and on Facebook, I think it's just Jeremy Lee. I'll try to post more, but again, with the secrets, I'm terrified something's going to be left out, and somebody's going to call me and say, how dare you have that script scene? Somebody's going to zoom in, all Shane Dawson conspiracy stuff.
Analyze all the pixels.
Yeah, really, I'm just nervous about Shane following me on social media. He's going to bust me for all those NDAs.
Could happen.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past him. The man is a genius.
Yes, that's true. That's very valid. Well, don't worry about that. We'll have the links for you down in the description of this video. So
Sweet.
Again, if you're not, should. Because when the stuff goes live, you'll want to know.
Yeah, and please, when the stuff goes live, let me know on the socials that I can talk
Yes,
about it.
let her know
Please.
that it's okay to speak.
Yes, thank you.
That's fine. Well, hey, listen, I think we are out of time. So thank you so much
Thank
again.
you.
It has been a privilege and a pleasure.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
And a legend.
Oh my gosh, please.
Thank
Thank
you.
Lovely to talk to you.